Good afternoon. It's good to be with you. I'm Carla the Cosmic Crone, and welcome to Womb Talk. Today I am going to complete the short conversation we've been having about desire. And I encourage you to go to that post, which I will make sure it gets up to the top again. The question, what is your desire? How big? Because it's super, super important. Desire, knowing your desire, naming and claiming your desire is the first step in manifesting. So it has a huge, broad appeal. It's also a step of sovereignty because we, as human beings, and especially as women, have been actively taught to distrust, deny, suppress, and not even think about our desire. Certainly, at best, we feel desire and then we judge it and we try to shrink it to fit what seems to be safe or appropriate or possible. And that limits us in so many ways. In my experience working with clients, I am always asking about desire. And on rare occasions, I get a woman who can reel it off. She knows exactly what she wants, both in the moment and long term. And she's not afraid to say it. And more often, I get something on the spectrum of deep freeze. I don't even know what I want. I've never even thought about it. I wouldn't know what to say if my life depended on it. To something kind of vague. I want to be happy. I want love in the world. I want abundance and prosperity and good health. And I want a good life. And I want to be grateful for what I have. And I really need a new car, a newer car, a car that I could rely on would work better. You know, really letting desire reflect basic needs and a sense of why should I desire anything? I've already got it pretty good, or at least good enough, or as good as I can expect. Do you see the problem with that? This is an ongoing thing. This is not something that you just look at once, because first off, the inspiration to tap into desire and to figure out what it is that you do want. And before I get too far down that direction, let's drop down the rabbit hole. It's definitely related to your sexuality. Desire is erotic. Whether it's the new car, world peace, or better sex, or having your partner do what you like instead of doing nothing at all, or however that shows up for you. Desire is erotic. So if part of what you're wanting in life is a deep and intimate and beautiful and sexual, pleasurable, orgasmic relationship with either the partner you've got or the partner you want to meet soon, or even yourself, then if you are shutting down desire anywhere in your life, you are shutting it down in your belly and between your legs. So recognize right now, as I've talked about it, I relax my legs, open my legs. As I talk to you about desire, I am getting in touch with my pleasure center, my womb, my yoni, and how it feels to sense desire, to know desire. Some of you have been in my world for a while. You have heard my story around my sense of sexual inadequacy, of feeling there was something wrong with me, and the healing journey that brought me to be sitting here talking to you today. You may also have heard the story I'm going to share with you now. I was I believe the year was 1996. I still had a couple of teenagers at home. We were living in Maine, but my husband was traveling to New York to work. I had not started my spiritual journey yet at all. I had not started my sexual healing journey. I was in the throes of it. In fact, I was in a place of being deeply depressed and repressed and compressed by the pain that I felt, the desperation. Hi, Teresa. I see you. Thank you. And yet, I was just in the middle of it. I was raising the teenagers, running the household mostly on my own because my husband was traveling for work, working the job from hell for the boss from hell, and basically barely holding it together. And being strong as fuck because I did hold it together. And I had some really good friends. I don't know if anybody in this community right here knew me then. Probably not. Most of the friends I have are definitely post-divorce friends and post-spiritual journey friends. But I want to give myself credit right now for, even though I felt incredibly inadequate, completely unsupported, and barely functioning, and like a complete fraud and failure, I was doing a bang-up job as a woman, a mother, a professional, a wife, all the things. I really was. So yeah, I never even thought of it in that perspective until this very moment. Thank you all for inviting me to speak to you so I could hear myself say that. Wow. And listen to yourself. Do you have a story like that to tell when you thought you were just completely fucking up? And the fact that you are here to remember it means that you were not completely fucking up. You were succeeding in so many ways. Okay, back to the story. That's the context with which this story happened. And this is the Good Will Hunting story. Now and again, you'll see memes or questions on Facebook. What movie changed your life? Well, this movie changed my life. I can mark the beginning of my spiritual journey, my healing journey, with this movie. Matt Damon and Robin Williams, Good Will Hunting. The genius kid, Townie, Southie, who was mopping floors at Harvard or MIT, and then stopping and solving the random equation of the week that the math professors put up on the board. And they would come in the morning, and the board was full of answers, and nobody knew who was doing it. And then they find him, he gets caught, they bring him into school, and he has this crisis of identification of, I don't belong here. So as part of acting out, I don't know if he even got arrested or something, I forget exactly how it goes, but he winds up in therapy with Robin Williams. And there is this potent scene. I'm sitting in a movie theater, by the way, the now defunct, disappeared Bayview Street Cinema in Camden, Maine, sitting, I think, between my two teenagers or with our kids and a friend, watching this movie in public, in the dark, thank goodness. And here comes this scene where Robin Williams basically says, "Cut the shit, Will. What do you want?" And Will evades the question. And Robin Williams says, "What do you want?" And Will evades the question. And Robin Williams says, "What do you want, Will?" And I don't exactly know what happens next, because what I'm hearing the whole time is, "What do you want, Carla? What do you want, Carla? What do you want, Carla? And I basically leave my body. I realize I do not know the answer to that question. And it seems like a pretty damned important question. And so how that question landed on me in the moment, and maybe this is a reflection of the big dark space I was sitting in. But the thing is, I see myself in a black box, empty, pitch black. And I have awareness that there's a window, but it's way up high and it's got blackout curtains on it and I can't even find it. I couldn't reach it if I could. And I know that there's probably a light switch because every room has a light switch, but I don't know where it is. And I'm feeling on the walls and I can't find it. And I have this sense of this is a really big room. It's completely black and I'm standing in it and I do not know where the light is. I do not know how to answer the question, what do I want? And I gradually just come back, watch the rest of the movie. I didn't know how it ended, but I'm carrying this question with me for 3 days. What do I want? What do I want? What do I want? And I go through the stages of discovering what do I want. And one stage is freeze. I think that's the black room. The other is generalities, art and love, in that order. I did come up. That was the question the answer that I held on to for a really long time, art and love. And I couldn't even make it more personal than that. My art, my love. I want to make amazing art and be recognized and paid and supported and given the time I need and given the resources that I need to make that art and to have it be okay, permission. That would have been personal. I couldn't even go there yet. And love, I want to be loved. I want to be loved the way that I know that I can love everybody but myself. And I didn't have that answer yet either. But that was the root. That was the anchor. And I kept staying in that box. I kept coming back to that box and journaling that box until I finally began to see, I guess you could say my eyes got adjusted to the dark and I could see the light beginning to glow dimly around the curtains over the window. And then I found the window and I opened the window and I opened the door and I found the light switch and I began to climb my way out. But it took a long time. You heard me yesterday. If you haven't seen part 1, you can go back and listen to that where I tell the story of deciding that it is really bad and wrong and dangerous to want things and to ask for things, and it makes my parents unhappy and it causes people problems. And so I must not. So when you're coming from that decision that I had been carrying for 35, 40 years, and we make that the most powerful person we will ever be is our 5-year-old child. We make decisions that stay with us the rest of our lives. So when you come to that question from a place of it is dangerous to want things, dangerous to ask for things, it's wrong, it's bad, and you're confronted with the reality of your own negated, denied desire, and you realize that it's important to answer that question, what do I want? It's a journey of many, many years. Or giant, big, fucking healing epiphanies, crises, or a blend of the two. And I had it all. And I can remember when I first began to set goals. I started my coaching world and started, having people tell me, well, write down your goals. I don't know. Get up in the morning. I need $30,000 a year to pay my bills, which was what I was already making as a teacher, which was killing me, which I was about to quit that job. So I had to learn how to set goals, and I still am not terribly good at it. And I have no problem admitting that. It's just undeniable. It's tricky. But I certainly didn't know what should be in my goals. What do I want? I had a friend who drove a Jaguar. Oh, I want a Jaguar. Wouldn't it be nice to have a Jaguar? Well, no, I don't give a shit about a Jaguar. A Jaguar in Maine is in the garage 9 months of the year. Ridiculous. What I wanted was to be able to afford a Jaguar. I would do something else with the money, but wouldn't it be nice? So I began this process, and until I could begin to find my own soul-driven goals and desires and dreams, and authentically be able to say, I want this, and begin to authentically also recognize how much of it I already had, which is a very beautiful healing exercise, to realize that desire has been active even when you're actively suppressing it. The house I lived in Maine was very much birthed through me by my desire, although I couldn't have described it that way at the time. Desire is a part of us. Kasia Urbaniak says something about desire. I might get it wrong how she says it, but she says you don't choose your desires. They have a life of their own. They come through you. They are not necessarily under your conscious control. And I think that's one reason why they frighten us. And because desire is erotic, and the erotic nature of the feminine is a power that patriarchy will not reckon with and fears, we have learned to suppress that part of ourselves to be safe within this society. And so, with Kasia's blessing, I say to you, your desires are being birthed through you, and they will live through you, or they will kill you. And you cannot control them. You can, however, expand to embrace them, get to know them, open to receive them, and deal with the parts of yourself that you can begin to control, like actively shutting down, actively trying to talk yourself out of it, actively trying to believe that you don't deserve it, or you should be happy with something smaller. I prefer a smaller desire. No, you don't. No, you don't. That's desire will rattle your bones. It will shake you until you die if you do not allow it to grow within you and allow yourself to expand, to express it and contain it and open up to receive it. So that's the story I have for you today in Womb Talk. The work that I am here to do is to support you in knowing your desire, expanding to receive your desire, healing the inner obstacles to your desire, including your belief that you shouldn't, can't, mustn't, won't, or that it's never going to happen for you, including your relationship to your sexuality, your orgasm, that organic, natural expression of desire and the erotic that is part of your body, soul, mind, spirit. This is the work we do here in the portal. And when you take a step into deeper initiation, that invitation is on the table. Send me a message if you want to hear more. I will be talking about it here, but don't wait. It's available now. Breathe. Remember womb centering? Breathe into your belly, expand, receive. Thank you for listening. Blessings. And go answer that question if you haven't already. Give it a shot. You know what you want. Your desire will speak through you.